Did you know that there are countries that have flags, governments, currencies, and even passports, but are not officially recognized? And others that technically aren't countries but function as if they were? Whether due to political, cultural, or economic disputes, the world is full of controversial territories, often invisible on official maps. Today on Rectopib Geography, we will explore some of the most curious cases in world geography: contested territories, unrecognized countries, micronations, and even separatist regions that divide opinions. From Taiwan to northern Cyprus, passing through Kosovo, French Guiana, Scotland, Transnistria, Palestine, Israel, and even unexpected places like Sealand and Kugelmugel, you will discover how the world map is much more complicated than it seems. Shall we go? Here we group Taiwan, Tibet, southern Mongolia, Manchuria, Macau, Hong Kong, and East Turkestan, or Xinjiang. Taiwan, an still unrecognized country. Let's start with Taiwan, a modern island that declares itself an independent nation. It has its own currency, passport, president, and even high technology. Without Taiwan, the world would be lost without its semiconductors. But for China, Taiwan is simply a rebellious province. Since 1949, after the Communist Revolution, mainland China has never recognized Taiwan as independent. Despite this, Taiwan is officially recognized by more than 14 countries and maintains economic relations with practically the entire planet. A fascinating case where politics and economics go in opposite directions. Tibet, the spiritual kingdom under pressure. Now we move to the peaks of the Himalayas with Tibet. This territory was independent until it was annexed by China in the 1950s. Globally known for its mountain landscape and Buddhism led by the Dalai Lama, Tibet is called an autonomous region. But Tibetans denounce cultural control by China. Southern Mongolia and Manchuria, lesser known but controversial regions. Have you heard of Southern Mongolia? It is not the same country as Mongolia. In fact, it is an autonomous region of China, where Mongolian culture is under pressure to assimilate. Then there is Manchuria, another strategically important region in the past, occupied by Japan during World War II. Both are culturally distinct areas but integrated into China under political pressure. Hong Kong and Macau, two worlds within China. Hong Kong and Macau are like two countries within another country. Colonies of European powers until the end of the 20th century, Hong Kong was British and Macau Portuguese. Today they are administrative regions of China with their own economic systems. However, Hong Kong became a focus of pro-democracy protests in 2019, while Macau lives in a more tranquil political environment. East Turkestan, Xinjiang. The Turkish flag, with a blue background. Finally, we have East Turkestan, better known as Xinjiang. This territory in China is inhabited by the Uyghurs, a Turkic and Islamic people. Their blue flag, similar to Turkey's, represents the struggle for cultural identity. However, tensions in Xinjiang are enormous, with accusations of repression by China, which sees the region as a strategic and sensitive point. Palestinians and Israelis. A small territory, a global issue. Let's now move to the Middle East to discuss Palestine and Israel, the most emblematic example of territorial dispute. Israel is recognized as a sovereign country by most of the world, but Palestine fights for its recognition as a state. Both claim Jerusalem as their capital, and the conflict between them mixes religion, history, and politics. Palestine has been recognized as a non-member observer state by the UN since 2012, but its full sovereignty is still widely debated. A fascinating case, and at the same time full of tragedy. Northern Cyprus, a divided island. Northern Cyprus is the Turkish part of the island of Cyprus, recognized only by Turkey. A border called the Green Line divides the island into two parts. It is one of the most controlled borders in the world, with a UN presence since the 1970s. French Guiana, a part of France in South America. French Guiana is a curious territory. It is in South America, but it belongs to France. That's right, it is not an independent country, but an overseas department of France. Despite being on the South American continent, it is part of the European Union, with the euro as its currency and French policies governing the region. It is a piece of Europe outside Europe. Kosovo, a country divided by its origins. Kosovo declared independence from Serbia in 2008, but the issue is far from resolved. Although it has been recognized by more than 100 countries, major powers such as Russia and China do not accept its sovereignty, preventing its entry into the UN. This territory in the Balkans is one of the most relevant examples of countries that exist, but are in dispute for recognition. Transnistria. The Soviet Union still lives? Located in Moldova, Transnistria is a relic of the Soviet Union. It declared independence in 1990 and still maintains flags with the hammer and sickle, statues of Lenin, and a currency that does not circulate outside of there. It is a true Soviet time capsule. Scotland. The dream of independence in the United Kingdom. Scotland held a referendum in 2014 to decide whether to leave the United Kingdom, and narrowly decided to stay. But with the consequences of Brexit, many Scots have returned to dreaming of independence. Will we see Scotland as an independent country in the future? Western Sahara, the last case of colonisation in Africa. Disputed between Morocco and the separatist movement, Polisario Front, Western Sahara is widely recognised as a disputed territory. The region is rich in resources, but also in territorial tensions. Somaliland, Africa's unrecognised country. Somaliland is a territory in northern Somalia that has operated as a country since 1991. More stable than its neighbour, it has elections, its own currency, and even a passport, but it is not internationally recognised. Micronations, Sealand and Kugelmugel. In our segment of curiosities, we have Sealand, an abandoned oil platform in the North Sea that proclaims itself a country, and Kugelmugel, a sphere in Austria that considers itself a nation due to the ideas of an artist. Neither is recognised, but they are certainly entertaining. Republic of the South of Brazil. Some regionalist movements in southern Brazil advocate for the creation of a Republic of the South, separating states like Paraná, Santa Catarina and Rio Grande do Sul. It shows how regionalism can generate heated debates. So, what did you think of these nations, territories and separatist movements? Should there be a universal criterion for recognising a country? Or is geopolitics still a game of power? Leave your comment, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like to continue exploring the world with Rectopib Geography. Until the next journey.